What up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and we are here today, you guys, with a brand new review. Actually, for a brand new show. This is Rated to Love, you guys, and this is titled "It's Rated to Love, Make a Move," you guys. So this is season 1, episode 1, and this episode is titled "Welcome to New Orleans," you guys. So if you guys see me looking to the side, I have my laptop in the car with me, and I took my notes on my phone, but I always read my notes off of my laptop. So that's where we are. So yeah, this is like I said, season 1 of episode 1 of season 1 of Rated to Love, Make a Move, you guys. So before we just go ahead and get into this review, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel and you guys aren't subscribed yet, then I need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. And you guys know the routine. Do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning your post notifications on, and sharing the video, you guys. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into Ready to Love, Make a Move, shall we? All right, you guys. So this show is going to be following 4 previous ladies who were on the journey on Ready to Love from various seasons, right? So we have a young lady by the name of Ashley. You guys know I never watched Ready to Love prior to season 3, which is technically season 4, right? So I didn't start watching it until that season. So this young lady, her name is Ashley, from Ready to Love Atlanta. She dated a guy named Alex. Again, I don't know anything about Ashley. I will say her personality, from what I saw on this episode, very over the top, and I like her, right? So the next person that's on here is Vernisha. We all remember Vernisha from Ready to Love Houston, where she ended up choosing Joel. Her relationship with Joel didn't work out. The last time I heard about Joel, that man was in prison. Is he still in jail, y'all? Let me know if y'all know what's going on with old Joel, because the last time I heard something, Joel had went to jail. So Vernisha is back, and remember, she said they say season 3, right? But that season, I called it season 4 because of the previous season before it, but I guess they lumped in the resort season with that season and they called it season 3, both of them season 3. But it is what it is, right, you guys? Then we have Zia. So Zia is from Rated to Love DC, and I think DC was after the Houston season. Yeah, DC was after the Houston season, right? So she dated Naeem for, she said, 10 months after their season ended, and they went their separate ways. And then lastly, we have Charisse. We remember Charisse from Rated to Love Miami, and I think it was the first Miami season, and I could be wrong, but I think it was the first Miami season. Yeah, it is the first Miami season because it's the season that had Trinika on it. So yeah, so those are our ladies, you guys. So the ladies are being introduced to Tamika Lee. If you guys don't know who Tamika is known for a reality show. She was on Southern Charm New Orleans over on Bravo, right? They got 2 seasons of that show. I watched the second season. I didn't watch the first season in its entirety, but I did watch the second season. There has been some rumors. You guys have heard the rumors that they're potentially casting for a Real Housewives of New Orleans, and her name has come up in that casting. So we'll see how that goes. So Tamika is not a life coach, but she is a matchmaker, right? So she told the ladies that she's going to be introducing them to 25 single men, right? And so yeah, she's going to play matchmaker for the women. So we see the men, they all showed up. Now, we didn't meet all of the men in this first episode. So what happened is Tamika told the ladies, so right here, right now, each one of you are going to pick a man, and he's going to come back in with us, and they're going to kind of, do a little, how Tommy does a mixer. They're going to do a little mixer where they sit down with these men and get to know the men, right? So they all picked different men, right? So Ashley picked a guy named Donald. Vernisha picked a guy named Jabari. Zia picked a guy, his name is, what is that guy's name that Zia picked? Richard. And then Charisse picked a guy named Antonio. So we're going to pause here and we're going to move forward. So when they picked the 4 guys, they went back into the crib, right? So each one of the ladies are sitting down with the men and they're getting to know them. So the first one that was getting to know someone was Ashley, right? So Ashley was getting to know Donald. And what I will say about Donald, because she was asking him questions about himself and, if he's ready for a relationship. And for me personally, Donald's answers gave very much cookie cutter, very much rehearsed, very much thought out and planned. Now, he could be serious about looking for a relationship, but the vibe that I got was that he kind of practiced these answers, practiced these questions, the answers to his questions that he had. But overall, I do like Donald. We'll see how things play out over this season, right? So the guy that Zia picked, Richard. Richard asked her right out the gate, about her last relationship, and he was like, "Wow, so you're not gonna ask me like where I'm from, anything like that?" He's like, "Oh, well, let me ask you that," and I was like, So, and what I will say when it came to Richard, Richard came off as if he was doing an interview, because it was like, "Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Why didn't your last relationship work out?" It was like, is this stuff that we typically ask on a first date? It's been a while since I've been on the first date, so I don't know nothing about that. But hey, because when it comes to a first date, you always want a first date to just be smooth, right? You want the conversation to just naturally flow, so you can just have it's casual conversation. You're still getting to know the person, but you also want to have that casual conversation with the person that you're out on a date with. So, after that, we see Vernisha. So Vernisha is talking to Jabari. So Jabari is 43 years old. She's 42 years old. She asked him, does he have kids? He has kids. He has a daughter that's at Prairie View. She says her daughter is at Prairie View. And so Vernisha and Jabari are hitting it off. And I'll talk about Vernisha a little bit later once we get down to her. But what I will say is, Jabari kind of gave me the vibes of Joelle, the charming side, but we'll get deeper into it as we get to it. So the next person is Charisse, right? So Charisse is having a conversation with Antonio, right? Antonio is 38 years old, and she asked him, do you have kids? He said, yeah, I got 3 kids. They are 13, 11, and 4. You guys remember on Charisse's season when old boy with the dark spots around his eyes, can't remember what his name was. When he said he was talking about kids, she called him baggage, right? So Charisse is like, she's trying to get out of the things that she did previously that didn't work for her. But in her interview with the producers, she's still coming off very judgmental. She's coming out very judgmental. She's coming out very superficial. And it's all about an appearance with Charisse. I got that from Charisse. That's all it gave me, was nothing but an appearance for her, right? Because she was talking about what he had on. And we'll talk about that a little later as well, right? Because it'll come up again. But she's saying she's trying to get out of her way and be more open. I was like, girl, no, you're not. Because if you're in your interview still discussing these things, you're not being more open to it. You're just being more open to his face and not blurting out the first thing that comes to your brain. So, let's pause here and move forward. All right, so the ladies go and sit down with Tamika, right? And they tell Tamika about, their interactions with the men. So Tamika lets them know that what they'll do is they'll pick one guy and they'll go out on a date with him, right? And they're all free pickings, right? So let's say if, Ashley likes Donald and Sharice likes Donald, and Sharice says, I want to go on a date with Donald as well. It's no situation. It's not going to be a thing where, oh, well, she has a connection with him and I can go on a date with him. They both can go on a date with whoever, right? So Ashley chose her first date to be Donald, and then Sharice chose her first date to be Antonio. I was slightly surprised that she picked Antonio because, again, going to her interview, she didn't have the best things to say about the man. And I was like, I just don't feel like Sharice is interested in him at all, right? So then it comes down to Vernisha, and Vernisha picked Jabari. And at one point, Zadia did have a conversation with Jabari, and they had a really great conversation. They had great banter. She went to University of Houston. He went to I think he said Texas Southern, right? He said, "Oh, I'm so sorry." When he told her that she went, when she said she went to U of H, right? So they have a good banter with each other. So Zadia ended up choosing to go on a date with Jabari as well, right? And it's not, she was like, he ain't got no, no connection to her. So she was like, he ain't got nothing with her, so it's free, free pickings, right? So we see Ashley and Don on their date with each other, right? What I will say about Don is, I believe we're seeing Don's representative. I think, and it's so interesting. I think Ashley is putting herself in a situation kind of like what she said with Alex, right? Which I forgot to mention that. So she said with Alex that when she was with Alex, she found out that his name ain't really Alex. I forgot what she said his real name is. His car wasn't in his name. It was in his sugar mama's name. His apartment wasn't in his name. It was in his best friend's name, right? And I was looking at Don and I was like, you don't think that maybe, like, I know she said, don't let me just meet your representative, but I was like, I think you really are just literally meeting this man's representative. That's what I feel. Now, if you guys watch the episode, please let me know if you guys agree or disagree with my sentiments, right? So then after that, we move over to Sharice's date with Antonio, right? So Sharice had a issue with the fact that Antonio came to the date with the blazer on, right? She had an issue with the blazer. She had an issue with the fact that he didn't have a jacket on. She had an issue with the fact that he has a 4-year-old. And so she wondered, is there still something going on between him and the mother? Why did things not work out with him and the mother? He was trying to say it was toxic. I will ask the question of who was the toxic one? Was it you? Did you drive her to be toxic? Like, we need to delve deeper into that, right? But I think Sharice has some reservations with Mr. Antonio, right? So Vernisha and Jabari, they went out on a date with each other. And one thing I will say about Vernisha, girl, I could literally see your print in your pants. I'm just saying, I could see it. That's all I got to say. Nothing wrong with it, but I could definitely see it. Like, them pants were a little too tight in the in the crotch region, because I could see the the moose knuckle. Just saying. So I will say that on her date with Jabari, they do have a lot of things in common. And Jabari did tell her that he used to be a playboy, but he's not a playboy anymore, right? And she respected that, right? Oh, and also with Sharice, she found out that Antonio has cheated in the past, and she told him that that's a deal breaker for her, right? So what I will say when it comes to Vernisha and what is his name again? Jabari, right? Vernisha and Jabari. I want her to. She said it in her interview that yes, she does like this man, but she's not gonna make the same mistake that she made the first time around on Rated to Love, where she locked in immediately with Joel. And so I was like, yeah, you might like him, but don't just immediately lock in with him. Like, let's see what the other options are, right? And get to know other people in the process. And I like that she said that, right? So next up is Jabari's date with Zadia. So they got a tarot card reading, and I like the fact they were both open to having their tarot cards read, right? So she asked him what his 5-year goals are, right? He says he wants to ultimately get married. He wants to have a family. Well, he wants to travel with his partner, right? And he asked Zadia, "What about you?" And she says the same as well. And so she was like, but she doesn't want kids. But it's like it's a soft no, not a hard no. She's like, if she does have kids, there's a contract, right? So in the contract, she doesn't want to wake up on Saturday mornings with the kids, and there needs to be a fund set aside for mommy makeover, and that's fine. Let me know what you guys think about it. So let's pause here, you guys, and wrap up the first episode. All right, you guys. So I will say, I like Ashley, you guys. So Ashley got a little deep with us. Now, again, you guys, remember, I just said, I didn't watch the first season of Rated to Love, so if she told her story on Rated to Love, I didn't hear it, and this is my first time hearing it, right? So she was talking about her dad and how the fact that they had a restaurant, because she was telling Zadia that she was gonna make turkey burgers, right? And Zadia asked her what was her recipe, and she told her, I can't tell you that. But she did tell us about her restaurant, and one of them she closed and I think sold. her father, there was a fight in the parking lot. Her father went outside to break up the fight, and when he did that, they started pow pow powing, right? And one of the bullets hit him, and he passed away. So my deepest condolences, to Ashley. And I think Ashley is still. I don't think you can see that she's still dealing with that, right? And I want, I don't know if she's talked to anybody about that, but you can definitely see that it's still something that she deals with on a regular basis. Not probably not often, but it's something that she deals with. And so she was also talking about how she wants a man that's similar to her father, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think the problem is going to be that your father is always going to be on this high pedestal. So if a man that you get with, if he doesn't equal up or measure up to your father, you're gonna throw that in his face and be like, well, my father did this, my father did that, my dad did this, my dad. And the man, your husband or your significant other, is always going to feel like he is competing with the memory and the honor of your father. I just want to point that out. There's nothing wrong with the fact that you want someone who is a provider, a protector, and things like that, right? But I also feel like your partner might feel that he is competing with your dad. Just putting that out there, right? So, after that, they sat down with Tamika once again and they told Tamika about their dates, right? So Tamika let them know that she is a matchmaker, right? So she's going to be setting them up with men of her choosing. Because also in the beginning of the episode, when they picked the original four men, right? She told them she would be observing them, and so she would be looking at them and see what they like. And so she's gonna make a pick for them. They're gonna go out on a date with that pick that Tamika gives to the ladies, right? So after that, they'll sit down with Tamika. They'll talk to Tamika and tell Tamika, what they're feeling about the date, right? And from that point, they're gonna make a choice between their original pick and Tamika's pick. Now, whoever they pick, they have to let go of the other one. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Remember, it is 25 men, you guys. So it's gonna be an interesting season, and I'm actually looking forward to it, you guys. This is what I want with Ready to Love. I want people who can step in and give these people, you know, actual helpful tools to move forward in a relationship. With Tommy on Ready to Love, nothing personal against Tommy, but Tommy just comes into the ladies' lounge and the gentlemen's lounge, and they tell about their dates and stuff. So they don't go in depth. And Tommy's not a matchmaker, so I'm interested in you guys. But let me know what you guys thought about this first episode of Ready to Love, Make a Move. Let me know if you guys watched the episode in the comment section below, you guys. And you guys be sure to subscribe to the channel, turn your post notifications on, share the video, you guys. And until the next time, please stay safe out there, you guys. Take care of yourselves, wash your hands, be blessed, and I will see you guys in the next video, you guys. So, I still got to get off. I still got to watch Love is Blind, and I know that the reunion is tomorrow, so I'm trying to debate if I want to do episodes 10 and the reunion together. We'll figure it out, you guys. But I'll see you guys in the next one, you guys. Bye.